You're going to want to watch this video if you have trouble being in your feminine energy. That means difficulty letting go of control, being fully open, being vulnerable with men especially, and even more so with the man you really like, care about, don't want to lose. You experience some level of anxiety a lot of the time, which makes it difficult to be open and let go of control. These difficulties are why you don't have the relationship of your dreams right now with a healthy masculine man who loves you and cares about you and wants to take care of you. And until you make these shifts, you're not going to have that relationship of your dreams. You're not going to have the kind of man that you need and deserve. You're not going to have the relationship that you need and deserve. You're not going to be able to operate in a state where you're just in ease. You're just open. You're just able to receive all the time. So make sure you stick around for this whole video. We're going to be talking about how you got here, what your feminine energy is, why you have difficulty accessing it, and also what you can do about it so that you can have that dream relationship with a healthy masculine man. My name is Zach Grody. I am here to lead you into creating the relationship of your dreams using your feminine energy and what I call feminine communication to inspire a man into cherishing you. So, the reason that you're not able to just let go, be open, vulnerable, what is going on? Ultimately, this all stems from childhood, and these problems tend to also get exacerbated in adulthood. So what happens in childhood for you as a woman, as a typical little girl? And there's going to be a range of what happens, right? Some women had it much harder in childhood, some had it easier. But in general, what I'm going to be talking about is true. You're going to resonate with it to some degree. So in childhood, you were not fully 100% loved and accepted. The real you, who you are, was not fully cherished by your parents. And they might have been reasonably good parents. And of course, well, hopefully, they loved you, they cared about you to an extent and they wanted the best for you. But no matter what, they were flawed parents. They were not fully healed. And because of that, they ended up transmitting many of their woundings into you by the way that they raised you. How did this happen? Well, when you come out into the world, in this flawed world that we are in, you are so open and vulnerable. So open and so vulnerable and so helpless. And you rely fully on your parents, especially your mother early on, to take care of you, to make sure that you're safe, not just physically safe, but also emotionally safe. And we're going to be talking a lot about emotional safety because for the feminine instinct, safety is so unbelievably critically important. And things really start to go wrong relatively early on. So you've got needs as that little baby girl. And you need attention, you need milk, you need safety, like physical safety, you need comfort, you need emotional comfort, physical closeness, mother, and also a father to a lesser degree early on who is emotionally regulated. I mean, they both need to be fully emotionally regulated, but your mother's typically going to be the one that's taking care of you more because it's the way things are. It's going to be your mother who's going to breastfeed you. It's probably not going to be your father. And other reasons as well, instinctual reasons. So you need them to be fully emotionally regulated. That means when you are emotionally dysregulated, right? You're crying, can't control yourself, you're having a temper tantrum, you're cranky, I'll focus on your mother here. Your mother needs to be fully emotionally regulated and just be loving, just be nurturing, tell you that everything's okay. Everything's going to be all right. Mommy's got you. And daddy as well, right? Like hopefully daddy's taking care of you to some extent as well and changing some diapers and comforting you and mommy needs a break and all of that stuff. So daddy's saying the same thing. Daddy is emotionally regulating as well. And as you get older and you become a toddler and everything, probably you're going to be interacting more and more with daddy, especially when you are dysregulated, when your needs are not being fully met. And this is where it becomes really important how your parents respond to you. Because what you need in that moment, whether you're a newborn baby, it's like fresh out, 1 day old, whether you're 1 year old, whether you're 5 years old, whether you're 15 years old, is you need a caregiver that is hopefully your parents, your father and your mother, to stay emotionally regulated and give you the message that you are fully worthy, your needs are fully worthy, your feelings matter, your feelings are okay, you're okay for expressing your feelings, and I love you, and I'm not going to abandon you, not physically and not emotionally. I am going to be taking care of you no matter what. Now, if you've stuck around for this far in the video, you probably didn't get that message to the degree that you needed. Some women get really lucky and had absolutely astounding parents all the way through and did get that healthy messaging all the way through, but most didn't. And this causes a lot of harm. And this causes a lot of problems when it comes to your feminine instinct and your ability to just be. By the way, before we continue, if you're liking this video so far, be sure to give it a like. I'm going to make sure it's an amazing video for you all the way through. We're just going to really dive into this topic. It's going to help my algorithm, which means it's going to help me, and it's going to help other amazing women like you find this content so that they can be helped by it as well. And be sure, if you haven't yet subscribed to my channel, do that now. Hit the notification bell. You're going to get way more content like this. This is the kind of stuff I talk about in my videos. I show you how to create the relationship of your dreams. I show you why you don't have it, how you can get it, how you can create the relationship of your dreams with yourself as well, heal all of your woundings, learn how to just fully enjoy life and relationships and men to the absolute fullest. That's in your future, but you need to know how. You need to be listening to someone who actually knows what they're talking about in this area and can help you get it. And on that note, I have a proven track record of helping women create the relationship of their dreams. I have an academy program that has had literally hundreds and hundreds of women come through it, women who've been deeply traumatized. I'm talking, absolutely awful childhoods, abuse, many who've been SA'd. I don't want to mess up my algorithm here with trigger words. They've been deeply hurt, deeply disappointed by men in horrible relationships, and others that less so, right? But I'm talking about my most difficult students, and we've been able to help them create the relationship of their dreams. We've been able to help them attract really healthy, amazing men, if they're single, masculine men who want to lead, who want to take charge, who want to care for them, who want to protect them, not just physically, but their hearts, emotionally. Men who are emotionally regulated, so who can help emotionally regulate you as well. And we have also helped women who were in relationships or are in relationships improve their relationship massively. Learn how to shift the conflicts, the unmet needs, the hurt feelings, the resentment, men who are withdrawing or energetically attacking or not leading, not stepping up. We've been able to help women shift that without even having the man's buy-in, just by these women working on their own stuff, looking at their side of the street. And that doesn't mean that all the things they're experiencing were their fault. It's just that this is the beauty of what I teach, of polarity, masculine and feminine communication, feminine energy, is that you can inspire a man into stepping up and being the absolute best version of himself for you, which is what you need. And you deserve that. You absolutely deserve that kind of care from a man. I want that for you. And before we get back to really diving into the childhood stuff and what you can do to overcome it, if you are interested at any point, including now, of working with me, go below this video, open up the description, click on the link, relationshipyourdreams.com, watch the video on that page. It's going to help you understand the kind of shifts that I'm talking about and what's actually possible for you. Even if you don't end up working with me, it's at least going to inspire you to realize, I could have this too. Because you absolutely can. You can have this dream relationship. And then after that video, book a call with me if everything feels right, a discovery call, and I'll give you some coaching. We'll dive into your love life issues and we'll find out if working with me in my academy makes sense. That's relationshipyourdreams.com, and I will see you there. Okay, so back to the wounding. You were hurt in childhood. You didn't get your needs fully met in childhood. When those needs came up, those unmet needs, the dysregulated feelings, you tried communicating in the only way that you knew how, crying, temper tantrums, judging, maybe sometimes being bossy, cranky. You do all these kind of things to communicate your needs. And at least some of the time, you were given the message that you are not okay right now. How you are, and there's a difference here, right? A parent can communicate, and also a man, like a loving man, can communicate that your behavior is not acceptable right now without giving the message that you are intrinsically not okay, right? So as an example, with my daughter, she's 3, total basket case in many ways, which is a ball of fun and crazy in so many ways, as many toddlers are, most toddlers are. So she'll get very dysregulated about stuff, like dumb stuff, like to an adult. To me, it's like, this is like, come on, doesn't even make sense what's going on. Like I'm taking away a marker because you wanted to color on the walls, and then there's a meltdown about it. And parents tend to not like meltdowns in their children. And what happens when that meltdown is happening is a lot of parents get dysregulated as well. And then they start putting that dysregulation onto the child by blaming, judging you. Stop that, cut that out, grow up, stop acting like a child, that kind of messaging. And there's that, it's not just the words, it's also the energy. It's a shaming kind of energy. And what happens when a parent does that, and it could be even worse, like, the spankings, that kind of stuff, physical punishment, isolation, like sending a child to their room, all of that stuff is problematic. I've never once sent my daughter to her room, never spanked her, never will do any of that kind of stuff. I believe in discipline. I believe in not letting a child get away with bad behavior. But it's always done with love, and it's never about, typically, a lot of the time when a child is dysregulated, what they need is love more than anything. They need someone to help them emotionally regulate. And that can also be by explaining things logically. Like my daughter responds really well when I just say, like, hey, sweetheart, I'll get down on my knees and be like, hey, sweetheart, I'm going to explain to you why you can't color on the walls. It's because then there's going to be, I'm not going to be able to take it off, and the walls aren't going to look very nice anymore. And here, I'm going to show you where you can color instead. And then usually she kind of just listens, and then it's like, okay. And sometimes not. Sometimes she just wants to throw a temper tantrum and continue crying about it. And if so, I let her do it. I let her do it without being destructive to herself or to my walls, to the house, to myself. But I'm going to do it. And sometimes I'll be holding her. Sometimes I'll be right there with her and be like, hey, I'm here. If you want a hug, you just tell me. I'm here to take care of you if you need anything. Sometimes she said, no, Daddy, I don't want a hug. Go away, Daddy. I'm like, okay, that's fine. Sometimes I'll pick her up and I'll give her a hug and I'll give her that comfort and everything. And she, over time, wants to behave better. Just, when you're dysregulated in a relationship, you do things that you would never do when you're regulated. You say things that you would never, that you really shouldn't be saying. And it's not because you're bad. It's not because you're a horrible, disrespectful woman. It's because you don't know how to control yourself in those moments. You're just trying to express yourself and get your needs met and protect yourself in the only way that you know how. It just isn't a good strategy because you haven't been taught any better. That's all. And so when children are punished for being dysregulated and for their behavior, but where they're getting the message that they are not okay in some way, what they're basically taught is if you're not perfect, or if you're not this version of you that I want you to be, you're at risk of being abandoned. Maybe physically and certainly emotionally, where it's and to a child that's death. Because a child, especially really early, the formative years, up to 6 years old, it's they're entirely dependent on you. And so if they perceive that they're at risk of being abandoned, then they're going to develop control patterns to stay safe. This is very important what we're talking about here. They're going to develop control patterns to create that safety for themselves. So what is a control pattern? A control pattern is all the different ways that you are sabotaging your love life right now. So avoiding speaking up, a really big one. In my academy program with women, the number one thing, women have difficulty speaking up. They have difficulty asking for help. They have difficulty sharing their feelings, especially being vulnerable while sharing their feelings. They have difficulty getting vulnerable with their needs, with feelings, with problems that they're experiencing. And the control pattern is they just stay silent, or they downplay the issue. They keep avoiding. So many children will, little girls, because we're talking about girls, boys do it too, but in your case, you're a girl, you're a woman, you were a little girl, you learned to avoid. You learned how to not speak up. You learned to stifle your voice. You learned that it is not safe. This is important. It is not safe to speak your voice, to have a big voice, to share exactly what's going on for you. You were taught that you're not going to be fully loved if you do that. Another really big pattern that women will do is you learn to fawn. You learn to comply, be obedient. Like, I teach women submission. I teach women how to submit to a man, to a loving man. Submission can be a really big trigger word for women. Many women think it means like that they're weak or less than, inferior to a man. I'm not teaching you any of that crap. There's lots of men who do teach submission that actually believe that, like that the man is superior in some way. I believe that you are just as important and like an equal to a man. It's just that your roles are different. That's all. It's like, even with my daughter, like, just to use an extreme example, I don't see myself in any way as better or superior to my daughter. She means the world to me. Like, all I want to do is take care of her, love her, make her feel special, make her feel amazing, and my wife. Like, understand these roles. Like, very brief for anyone who's new to my channel, haven't gone through my videos before. What I teach is masculine and feminine polarity, which means a man is fully leading, taking charge, making the plans, providing for and protecting his woman. And the woman is letting go, opening up, receiving. She's being taken care of and inspiring the man to be his absolute best without trying to do anything. It's like a salsa dance. Man's leading on the dance floor, woman's following his lead every step of the way. And it's beautiful. This is our masculine and feminine instincts. This is the way that we are wired. I'm not talking about some kind of, culture, because this is typically historically cultural, what I'm talking about. Culture came from instinct. Culture came from instinct. We are instinctually wired for these roles. Now, of course, unfortunately, because we've been so wounded, men have led women, been in control of women in a toxic way. In general, I'm not saying every single man throughout history. I'm talking about, as a general rule, there's been a lot of that in society, where men are dysregulated, they're angry, they have control financially, so that like they have the power in the relationship. Women can't really get away, either legally or financially. And even today, that's sometimes often a problem as well, but especially historically. And that's not healthy polarity, right? Yes, a man should have control. Like, in my relationship, I'm the one fully in charge. Like, I make the decisions. I'm fully leading, and my wife submits to my leadership. But understand, I'm doing it out of care. I am always trying to be thoughtful. I'm trying to consider what her needs are. I'm trying to anticipate how she's going to feel, because I love her. And same with my daughter, right? They're both in the caretaking role. Now, of course, it's not a parent-child relationship in the same way as it is with my daughter, but there are similarities. Like, the similarity is caretaker and person being taken care of. That's the role. That's the way that we are supposed to be. Man is supposed to be taking care of the woman. Now, unlike a child, a woman is also taking care of the man, but in a different way. I don't call it taking care of. For example, like, my wife cooks all the meals in the household for my daughter and for me. So in a way, she's taking care of me, but she's actually submitting to my leadership. She's submitting to my lead of, like, this is what I need, like, you to do to help me, because I'm fully providing for us, and it's a lot easier for you to cook these meals and for me to do this on top of everything else. So she does that. She takes care of most of the home. She does the majority of the caretaking with our daughter, though I do a lot as well, just because I want to spend as much time with her as I reasonably can. And so she's taking care of me, but through my leadership. Whereas with my daughter, she's not cook. I mean, she will, I guess, as she gets older, she'll be doing some of that stuff. But right now, it's like she's just being taken care of, not doing anything to be in that cooking, cleaning, managing, all of that stuff. So that's the gist of polarity. And hopefully, if you're still sticking around over 20 minutes in, that means that you want to have a polarized relationship. This is what I call the dream relationship. A man who is fully taking care of his woman, you get to fully let go, and it's a man who is devoted to you. He's devoted to taking care of you, to cherishing you. This, like, if you stuck around this far, especially if this is the first video that you've watched of mine, congratulations, because it means that you are in a minority of women today. Most women have been, at least in the West, most women have been so deeply indoctrinated by false ideologies about how they should be, that they should be like strong, they should be equal in the sense that they're basically showing up the same way a man is. It's like they're blending all of the incredible differences of what makes a woman. What makes a woman is not just her physical biology, it's her feminine instinct, it's her feminine essence. And ideologies like feminism just plow that away and train women to be more like men, which doesn't work out because healthy masculine men don't want to be with women that are like that. Many women have been victims of that. Now, again, this might be triggering up till this point as well. If you're like, for some women, my content will just be like, this is amazing. Like, this is what I've been wanting to hear my entire life. Other women will be like, oh my God, this guy's triggering the crap out of me, but there's something that's captivating me and I can't, look away. I'm going to keep listening. And for those women, it's because your instinct, your feminine instinct is online enough to receive this, because I'm speaking to your instinct right now. Your feminine instinct is ready to receive this. It's not for many women. And you might have a whole bunch of conditioning, social conditioning, programming, ideologies, false belief systems on top of that instinct that what I'm saying is triggering. So if you're experiencing any triggers in this video or any video that I put out, it's okay. I'm not trying to trigger you. I'm just trying to speak the truth. I'm trying to be as loving as I possibly can as I do it. But absolutely some triggers may come up for you. And if they do, that's okay. Just do your best to sit with them. That trigger, it's usually like a fear response or some kind of anger response. And it's usually in your chest or it's usually in your belly, assuming you're not totally dissociated from your feelings. And so when it comes up, you do your best just to put your attention on the feeling. So if it's in your chest, for example, it's like, okay, I'm gonna put my attention there in my chest. I'm gonna feel it. Oh, it's uncomfortable. Oh, I just want to punch this guy in the face, or I just want to run away and close this video and never watch another one again. And you just stay with it as long as you can. You just allow that feeling. You're not trying to make it go away. You're just allowing it as okay. You're just accepting it as like, this is a beautiful feeling. And this is an important segue. By the way, before we get into the segue, have you liked this video yet? Make sure you like it. Do me the courtesy of liking it if you actually like it, which you must at this point in, and be sure to subscribe. I want you to get more of this content. I want you to start binge watching this content because this can completely transform your life. Even if you never work with me in the Academy program where we can fast track massively these shifts, you can still start shifting your life, transforming the way that you're showing up just by watching these videos. I provide so much for free, and I've started providing even more for free than I had been. Understanding feminine communication, how to show up, why you're stuck in these kind of ways. And I want you to have that, regardless of whether you work with me or not. I want you to start making shifts to be the best woman that you can possibly be for yourself and for a man so that you can have everything that you want. So, back to the feelings in your body. These feelings that you're just accepting as they come up, and you might not be triggered in this moment, but like this is still relevant for you regardless. When you're accepting these feelings in the moment, you are giving yourself the same kind of love and care that you needed in your childhood. And you're also giving yourself the same love and care that you need from a man, right? Because think about it. In a relationship, it's like, what do you need most from a man? You need, there's a bunch of things you really need, but certainly, we'll say this is the biggest. It pretty much is. You need a man when you are feeling something, when you are not being perfect in some kind of way, for him to be able to still be in a state of acceptance. That doesn't mean he's tolerating bad behavior. Same thing, like I mentioned my daughter, same thing with my wife. When my wife is communicating disrespectfully with me, when she's dysregulated, I'll correct her. Be like, hey, sweetheart, I can tell you're angry. I'm going to help you with that anger, but don't speak to me this way. Just tell me what you're feeling. I care, but don't start judging me or don't start blaming me. And that's important because I'm setting a boundary, but I'm doing it with love, and I'm giving her direction of how she should be showing up instead. I'm giving her the message, this behavior is not acceptable, and I still love you. This behavior is not acceptable, and I still love you, despite you showing up imperfectly. That's how parents are supposed to be showing up with their children as well, where, yeah, they're setting the boundary, but they're giving the message, I'm still here for you, I still love you, I'm not going to abandon you, not physically, not emotionally. You're okay. And especially your feelings are okay. Your feelings are okay, your unmet needs are okay, and I'm here to take care of you. That needs to be the message. What is that message? This is all about safety. The feminine instinct, and this is good, like for little boys and girls, this is going to be extremely true. But for girls, the feminine instinct is all around safety in this way. The fear of being abandoned. The fear of, basically what it is, it's the fear of opening yourself to a man, like opening your legs, sleeping with a man, getting pregnant by that man, having his child, and then being abandoned. And now you're stuck with a child and you're not able to take care of yourself or protect yourself, right? And imagine before, like welfare and government systems and all this stuff, it's like you're basically dead. That's a really deep fear, a deep-rooted fear for women, and that is not a wound, that's an instinct. You might have other wounds that exacerbate that fear significantly, especially if you've experienced the kind of trauma that I'm talking about in childhood, but that's an instinctual fear. This fear of being abandoned by a man, especially after sleeping with him. And so you need that safety when he's leading you, when he's correcting you, when he's setting boundaries and expectations with you, for you to feel in your system that you're okay, that your feelings are okay, that your needs matter, that you're still loved, that you're still worthy. Wow, this is going to be a long video. So when you don't get that from your parents, when the message is that you are not okay, that you are not worthy, that you're not enough, that you're too much, you learn to go into the control pattern. So you're stifling yourself, stifling your voice, you're fawning. We've talked about two. We haven't even talked about anything else, but there's so many other patterns, right? Going into the giving role, like you're doing this mothering, reminding, planning, initiating, being more in that masculine energy, to be the one that's making things happen, the initiator, the doer, rather than the receiver. So that's another big one, being the one that is, well, this plays into it, right? So you're leading, you're the one that's making the decisions, you're also the one that might be setting the boundaries, is stopping him from doing something instead of inspiring him to set boundaries for himself, and a whole bunch more. So all of this is masculine energy. Judging, blaming, that's obvious masculine energy, not healthy, but it is masculine because you're trying to get an outcome. And all of this is going to be over top of your femininity. You are already feminine. You are already feminine. You are already irresistibly feminine. It's one of the names of my books. One name of one of my books. You're already irresistibly feminine. You just might not be experiencing externally what you need to experience, because that beautiful feminine essence that is your birthright, which is your being, is suppressed in some kind of way. It's covered up in all of these control patterns that are trying to keep you safe. This judging, the blaming, the resisting, the setting boundaries, the fawning, the avoiding, and everything else, the initiating, the mothering, the reminding, all of this is ultimately to keep you safe. You learned that you need to do this to avoid being abandoned. Where did all the mothering stuff come from, by the way? Well, it's usually parents who need to be taken care of in some capacity. And that could just be like they're dysregulated to a degree, so you need to step into taking care of them to make sure that they're okay. Oh, another big one is like, it's like a part of this is personality type, but it's this type A personality of like ultra successful, hyper achiever, that kind of thing, where all of your identity is wrapped up in success and achievements. That's going to wreak havoc in your love life as well, right? That's a very, like, being very ambitious. There's nothing wrong with like being passionate, but this specifically, you just can't let that go. You're going to attract really emasculated men emasculated behavior from those men. And you're basically running away from who you are. Because again, you were taught that you weren't enough. You had to be an achiever to be enough. You had to be successful to be enough, rather than just you being enough. And I am here to give you the opposite message. You are enough. You are already enough right now. Even before learning all the stuff that we teach in my academy and in my videos with feminine communication and feminine energy, you're enough right now. Just like when your feelings came up, or I mean your hypothetical feelings if you were triggered, and I'm like, you're just allowing those feelings to be there. You're not doing anything with them. It's the same thing with where you're at right now. It's like sometimes when you watch these videos, you're like, I'm like so far from the ideal. Like I'm so broken or messed up or something like that. And I don't want you to feel that way. I don't want you to create those stories for yourself watching my videos. You're already enough right now. Now, you might not be inspiring men right now because of these protective patterns that you're unconsciously using to stay safe. But you can't approach these shifts from the energy of trying to fix yourself. It's like, I'm not enough right now, so I'm going to fix myself. I'm going to become enough. No, you're already enough. And you just have to notice, there's all these protective layers that are trying to keep me safe. Maybe I don't need those layers anymore. Maybe I can start letting go of those patterns. Maybe I'm already okay. Maybe I'm already enough. And you just start letting those go. Right? So what's an example of that? Well, a classic, obvious one that's taught by many femininity coaches is mostly women. It's leaning back. Right? What does leaning back mean? It means you stop doing, you stop initiating, you stop planning, you stop making things happen. That's not your job. None of that stuff is your job at all. Your job as the woman is to receive a man doing all of that stuff for you. You get to be passive in that sense, where you're not the initiator. However, where a lot of teachings go wrong is they're not nearly focused enough on the communication. You're not just a passive receiver, you're an active receiver, which means you have needs as well. And the other person, the man, might not know how to meet them just by reading your mind. You're probably not with a mind reader. You're probably not dating mind readers. Just like, imagine a baby was just silent all the time. How much more difficult is it going to be for that mother to know when it needs milk or comfort or love or needs some sleep or needs to be swaddled or whatever? She could read books and everything, but it's that active follower role of communicating when she needs something that allows the mother to know, okay, this is what she needs from me. And in a caretaking role in a relationship, well, for a man to know what you need, he can't just guess. Even if he did we do work with men as well in our academy, even if he went to our academy program and learned how to fully lead in every way, he's not going to be able to mind read all the time exactly what you need. You need to be an active follower, which means you're communicating a lot. Proactively. That means even if you're not being led into it by the man, you are absolutely communicating. You're communicating when you have hurt feelings, or you're feeling anxious, or when you need care, you need a hug, you need time with him, you need whatever. There's this unmet need, you're experiencing this problem, you're stuck in something, whatever it is, you're communicating. That's communicating your self-worth. Your parents, if they stifled your voice in any way, stifled your self-worth, and you're bringing it back online by communicating your needs. But you've got to do it in a feminine way. You can't just be like, hey, Joe over there, Joe, my boyfriend, you're not leading. You got to step up, or, you got to do these things right. And you start nagging her, like, why are you doing this? You start asking that's another control pattern, asking a bunch of questions, right? Leading questions, trying to open him up in some way, figure out why he's not leading, why he's doing the things that he's doing, why he hasn't asked you out on that date yet, whatever it is. Women will ask questions because they don't know how to be truly vulnerable instead. And questions tends to push away a man. So the tragic thing is all these control patterns end up not working. Like, you're doing it to stay safe because that's what worked in childhood, but it doesn't work in adulthood. All it does is push away the devotion and care that you need and deserve. You don't want that. These strategies do not work anymore. and you're still operating from them as if it's the best thing that you should be doing, that can be done. It's typically the worst thing that can be done. The best thing that can be done is opening into your feminine energy, leaning back, like I said, using communication, but specifically feminine communication, which is an energy where you're not leading energetically in any kind of way, right? There's a big difference between, I'm just going to be very basic with feminine communication, different being like, when am I seeing you? Or like, when are we getting together? When is our date? So that's a leading question versus sharing your sadness from your heart, opening yourself and being vulnerable and share like, I'm feeling anxious. It's your feelings more than anything that are going to inspire a man. Now you might be thinking at this point like, oh, I've shared my feelings and he didn't like it. Men didn't like it. I can pretty much guarantee you that you didn't share them in a truly vulnerable feminine way. You might have shared feelings that are not feelings. For example, when you share, I feel hurt, well, that's not a feeling. So if a man didn't respond well to that, it's because it's not a feeling, it's a judgment. And he's going to be feeling judged. And by the way, feeling judged is also not a feeling, right? The feeling that he felt is probably some kind of irritation because you're judging him unintentionally. And that's where things start to get derailed. So you need to really understand feminine communication, the depths of feminine communication, to start unstifling your voice. Because if you start unstifling your voice, but in a more masculine way, in a way that men are not naturally inspired by, then you're going to get bad experiences over and over, and it's just going to keep you shut down. It's not going to help you open up. This feminine communication, understand it's not a script. Like some women will think like, what I teach is scripts. I don't at all. Like everything that I learned, I use masculine communication, right? I give judgments, I give directives, I give correctives, I ask leading questions. In my coaching program, that's all I'm doing for women. I'm showing women like this is how a man should be leading you and taking care of you. And I'm teaching those women feminine communication with love and care. Where did I get that from? Well, I got it from my relationship. I learned this from trial and error, a lot of it, paying attention to how it felt in my body, communicating in a certain way versus other ways. And I started communicating in a way that felt the most powerful for me. Now, I felt anxious at first because it's something new, it's uncomfortable, it's outside of my comfort zone, but I could feel the rightness to it. That's my masculine instinct telling me this is the way I'm supposed to be. For women, it's the same thing. Everything that I teach women, don't memorize this script. I'm telling you, here's a way to tap into your feminine instinct. When you share, like, I feel, really sad right now, your instinct is going to feel feel the softening, feel the opening, the vulnerability around it. Now, that might terrify you at the same time. So I'm not saying, obviously that's not going to feel good in that sense, but you should feel the rightness of I would just feel so much ease letting go and opening up and just being in that beautiful feminine essence. Oh, there's a way to do that all the time? I would love that. That would be fantastic, right? And that's with all feminine communication that I teach. It's supposed to feel that way all the time instead of feeling like, oh, I'm kind of penetrating my man with judgments. I'm kind of like leading, or I'm kind of manipulating in a way. I'm judging, I'm blaming. That's not going to feel good for you. So I'm teaching you, literally all I teach you in these videos and all I teach my women in my academy program, my women students, is how to tap into their feminine instinct and express in the way that you're naturally wired to express. And you've got to do it for you. Don't learn feminine communication as just another costume, right? All costumes, masks, being the good girl, being the cool girl, being the girl that's not rocking the boat, who's not emotionally affected, all of that's masks. All of that is costumes that you wear, again, to stay safe. Those are control patterns. That's a culmination of multiple control patterns that you're putting over yourself to create that safety. I'm here to take away all of those masks. I'm there to take away all of those costumes, show you how to let them go. Because ultimately you have to do it. No one else can do it for you. I can't do it. I can show you how to do it. Like even in my academy program, I will tell you, here's how you communicate. I will show you exactly what to do. I will help you through your resistance. I'll help you through your fears. I will help you with your excuses, your limiting beliefs, your stories that are in the way. I'll create that safety for you to let go where you can sense that I'm not going to judge you, that my team's not going to judge you, my team of coaches, that we're just going to love you. We're just going to take care of you, that you're going to be accepted no matter what. We can give you that, but you have to still do the work. Every student in my program still has to do the work. There's no avoiding that. And if you're not in my program, same thing. You still have to do the work. There's no bypassing that. And doing the work is essentially, you got to move through a lot of fears. There's no way to not move through a lot of fears in this work if you want to make these shifts. But you can make them. You can 100% make them. You just need to know how. You just need to know that there is that feminine essence inside of you that is like, feel that for a moment. Before we wrap this up, feel that. Can you feel that feminine essence, that little, I will often describe it as it's that little girl inside of you that maybe rambunctious, energetic, playful, innocent, childlike little girl that's inside of you that is dying to come out, that has been so stifled, shut down, judged. And maybe you can access it some of the time. Where women have the most difficulty showing it, though, is when there's those hurt feelings, those unmet needs. That's where it's really difficult to really show that little girl. But she needs to be accepted and loved and expressed all the time, 100% of the time. And when you learn how to do that all of the time, that's when you start inspiring that kind of devotion from a man that I'm talking about. I have seen it so many, like, one of the reasons I'm so confident in these videos is like, I know because I've seen it, because I've facilitated it, because I don't want to like take the credit in that sense. Like, I made it happen. Like, my clients made it happen, but facilitated it. I was there. I helped women lead it and created the space for them to do it. So I know what is possible for you. I know that you can have this if you want it badly enough. I know that you can access that little girl and free her from the prison that she has been in her entire life. At least some of the time. You know, some women, they get jailbreaks, they're able to go out and play. For some women, it's so deeply suppressed. That little girl she's been in that prison all the time. Can't share her feelings at all. Can't share her needs at all. Wearing masks all the time. So I show you how to bring this part of you fully online, and that's going to shift your self-worth. You're going to fully open into loving all of you, right? Back to the feelings again. I'm helping you just love and accept that feeling. That is helping and love and accept all of you. You're giving yourself all of that love, that feeling of worthiness that you needed in childhood and you need from a man. And the more that you do that, the more that a man's going to feel your self-worth, and he's also going to be feeling your respect for him. A man needs respect. He needs to be able to feel your respect on a deep level. He needs to feel reverence. That's a deep respect. That's what that means. As much as possible. That's going to be a big part of what inspires him. But the other part of what inspires him is how worthy you are feeling. And guess what? The more that you learn how to respect men in a way where you're honoring your own heart, right? So you're not complying, you're not fawning, the more that your self-worth is coming online, and it's going to inspire man into wanting to take care of you, wanting to cherish you. I promise you that this is possible for you. You just have to believe it and start moving through your fears. And if, no matter what, keep watching these videos, bring all these pieces together, all these puzzle pieces, so that you understand this and you start making these shifts. And if you're at that point now where it's like, I really want to take this to the next step. I really want support. I want to be held. I want to be led by a man who gets this and who's safe and can lead me through these steps, led other women before. Just book that call with me. relationshipyourdreams.com. Again, it's below the video. Open up the description. That link is right there. Relationship Your Dreams. Watch the video on that link. Book that free call with me. We'll talk about exactly what's going on in your love life, what's kept you stuck, what you need to shift. We'll talk all about your control patterns. I'll literally tell you your specific issues. Here's how you shift them. Even if you don't end up working with me, I want to give that to you anyway. And then if I believe that you're right for the program, we'll talk about it. You can ask me any questions about it, and then you can decide, hey, do I want to step into this and get the absolute world's best support, transforming my love life, and most importantly, transforming yourself and your relationship with yourself. If you're ready, book that call. I'll see you there. We're going to have a great time. I have so much fun on these calls. That's it for this video. I'll see you for the next one.